We have a disturbing case this evening out of Trumbull County. A one-year-old girl is alleged to have been raped by her own parents. What's even more disturbing is police say it happened during what was supposed to be a supervised visit at Children's Services. With that story, here's Peggy Sinkovich.
A woman whose daughter was murdered while in foster care in 2009 is now, along with her husband, accused of raping another daughter during a supervised visit at the Trumbull County Children's Services Center. Felicia and Cody Beamer both pleaded innocent to rape charges in Warren Municipal Court Friday.
The child is and has been in the custody of Children's Services that during a scheduled visitation are alleged to have raped the child.
Family members discovered the rape when they found images on a cell phone.
Family members say what's so troubling to them is the allegations that the rape actually happened at the Children's Services facility. They say they thought the little girl was safe here.
The victim's relatives say another child, Tiffany Sue Banks, was beaten to death while in foster care back in 2009.
They should have had somebody in there in the visits of everybody. People need to step up and help me get these people in order before someone else gets hurt in CSB.
I'm pretty upset with Children's Services for the fact that they take kids out of homes where something happened and they have to take them out of the home for some reason, and then they get a hold of the child and worse things happen to them.
Sources say Cody Beamer was a juvenile sex offender and the couple went through parenting classes before being allowed the visits. Children's Services officials say they are cooperating with prosecutors. Felicia and Cody Beamer are being held in jail. The investigation is continuing and additional charges could be filed. In Warren, Peggy Sinkovich, 33 News.
An independent investigation is being requested following accusations that a mother and father raped their one-year-old daughter while in the care of the Trumbull County Children's Services. The idea of an investigation came today after a meeting between officials with Children's Services and the Trumbull County prosecutors. The prosecutors want the policies and procedures of Children's Services reviewed. Last week, Felicia and Cody Beamer were accused of raping their one-year-old daughter during a supervised visit at the Children's Services Center on Reeves Road in Warren. Well, courtrooms can be emotional places, and emotions were running higher than normal today in the Trumbull County courtroom of Judge Wyatt McKay. The husband and wife accused of videotaping the rape of their one-year-old daughter had a hearing today. With what happened, here's Peggy Sinkovich.
A mother and father accused of raping their one-year-old daughter during a supervised visit at Trumbull County Children's Services appeared in Common Pleas Court Friday to face the charges. Both are in jail and most likely won't be getting out soon.
The state would recommend bond be set in the amount of $1 million cash or surety due to the serious nature of the offenses and the mandatory life sentences involved in the rape count.
Felicia Banks Beamer and her husband Cody were indicted on charges of rape and pandering sexually oriented material involving a minor. Cody Beamer also faces a charge of gross sexual imposition. The two are accused of raping their daughter during a visit at Children's Services and also having sexual contact with another baby while at a home in Trumbull County. During the hearing, Cody showed little emotion, while Felicia sobbed and mouthed the words, "Help me," to her family that sat in the back of the courtroom.
I know my daughter did wrong, but Children's Services done wrong themselves. I'm tired of Children's Services. They've been bothering me since my kids were young.
A video of both alleged crimes were found on a cell phone.
Both Felicia and Cody are due back in court next week. If convicted of all the charges, they could face life in prison with a possibility of parole after 25 years.
Children's Service officials released a statement Thursday saying they are shocked and saddened by the tragedy and that the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services will conduct an independent review of the department's policies and procedures. In Warren, Peggy Sinkovich, 33 News.
At Warren's Trumbull County Family Court today, the legal wrangling continued over the alleged rape of a one-year-old girl by her parents. Now the little girl's grandmother is getting involved, claiming that Children's Services is to blame. With that story, here's Peggy Sinkovich.
An attorney representing the grandmother of an infant that was allegedly raped by her biological parents during a supervised visit at Trumbull County Children's Services is now asking for an independent prosecutor to be appointed to the case. Attorney David Engler sent a letter to prosecutor Dennis Watkins Tuesday requesting an outside prosecutor be appointed in the Felicia and Cody Beamer case. The two are accused of raping their daughter during a visit at CSB.
Someone needs to review the actions of CSB. Why did they allow abuse to take place on their premises when they knew or should have known that the father certainly had a history of being a sexual offender?
Watkins says his office does not have a conflict at this time, but Engler disagrees.
There needs to be a criminal investigation into the conduct of CSB, and he also has a statutory duty to defend CSB. So when someone wears too many hats, there's actual conflict or appearance of a conflict, you have to step aside.
Attorney Engler also filed a motion over here in family court. He's asking the court to appoint an independent Children's Services Board agency to oversee custody of the minor child.
He is also seeking visitation rights for the grandmother and asking the court to appoint a visiting judge to hear that case.
Because CSB is not in the position to care for this infant anymore because they blew it. You know, they allowed the infant to become abused.
Felicia and Cody Beamer's cases are pending and both remain behind bars. Peggy Sinkovich, 33 News.
The Trumbull County Children's Services Board released a statement today welcoming an investigation into rape allegations. Yesterday, the county prosecutor's office announced they requested the state to look at the case. Officials say Felicia and Cody Beamer raped their one-year-old daughter during a supervised visit there this past summer.
Trumbull County Prosecutor Dennis Watkins and Attorney David Engler still disagree on the need for a special prosecutor in the case involving a couple who allegedly raped their one-year-old daughter. Engler represents Loretta, the young girl's grandmother. The girl was supposedly raped during a supervised visit with Children's Services, and Engler claims that since both are county agencies, there could be a conflict. Today, Engler sent a second letter to Watkins calling Children's Services an agency with, quote, serious dysfunction. Watkins, however, maintains that a special prosecutor is.
Why hasn't anyone been placed on administrative leave, even if it's paid administrative leave, pending an investigation of this matter? Normally in a public situation, you'll see that happen where you take the person away from the potential criminal record and you get them a picture.
CSB officials say so far no employees have been placed on administrative leave, and they ask the public to withhold judgment on the case until both the criminal investigations are complete. Attorney David Engler is not happy with how the investigation into Trumbull County's Children's Services is progressing. Now, Engler wants the governor involved. From Warren, here's Peggy Sinkovich.
A local attorney is asking Governor John Kasich to take over the Trumbull County Children's Services Agency. David Engler, who represents the maternal grandmother of a victim allegedly raped by her biological parents during a supervised visit at CSB, requested the move in a letter sent to Governor John Kasich. Engler says CSB allowed the father to visit with the infant, knowing that he was a previous sex offender. He also says there were no cameras in the visitation rooms.
The bottom line issue is once they found out that a crime occurred, then they started completing records that they should have been completing for the last 11 months. That's very serious.
CSB Director Nick Karosky says while some people want to twist the facts for their own agenda, he believes better record keeping could not have prevented what happened to the victim.
Well, I think the governor will do the right thing with it, and I think the ODGFS report speaks for itself. From the beginning, the questions have been about our level of supervision, our visitation with this family, and now we have the answers to that. And again, I hope that people look at the report and take it for what it is.
Trumbull County CSB is also in the process of putting monitoring cameras in all visitation rooms.
CSB officials stress that there are still 2 other investigations going on with this case. The state BCI is looking into the matter, as well as the criminal investigation with the 2 biological parents.
Parents Felicia Banks Beamer and Cody Beamer remain behind bars. In Warren, Peggy Sinkovich, 33 News.
An employee of the Trumbull County Children's Services Board has been disciplined in connection with the case of 2 parents who allegedly raped their infant daughter. Director Nick Karosky would not release the employee's name or any details concerning the discipline. He said more will be known once the Bureau of Criminal Investigation releases its findings. Karosky says his agency has been fully cooperative.
They normally do a review of our agency, a CPO review, auditing our agency, and they're just expanding that CPO review. And of course, we're going to do everything we can to cooperate and help.
In September, Cody and Felicia Banks Beamer were charged with raping their 1-year-old daughter during a supervised visit at Children's Services.